JB here. Hope everyone's doing outstanding. Monday, January 5th, 329 on this fine afternoon. Talk really quick about the market. Some names I'm looking at go from there. Apologies for this morning. So much to talk about, so little time. I don't plan to be ranting too much this afternoon, but hopefully I can stick to on topic. Anyway, take a look at the S&P spies of about 0.7%. Trying to get all the indexes here. Small caps soaring over 1.5%. Nasdaq's rallying. The Dow. Yeah, no crazy catalyst. It's not like we had some great jobs report or some kind of data that you could rationalize the move today. And this is all with the backdrop of what happened over the weekend with Venezuela. So you see headlines, and of course the energy names are rallying. So you have the Chevrons and all that, and Chevron's one of the few that has the possibility of being able to really come out a winner if things kind of roll in the right direction in regards to Venezuela. But even if it does, it's not to the extent that the stock is. I mean, well, my thoughts. Seeing a rally here today, it's years down the road. The expenses and all that's gonna. Anyway, so you have that, and also financials today having their best day since the spring of after Liberation Day. So we have earnings season kicks off next week. So is that some positioning there? Is it kind of like a sigh of relief with what went on over the weekend, or is it just people they've repositioned at the end of last year, which is only a couple of days ago, and now getting into different trades to start the year? So I think it's a whole bunch of those things. I'm not going to sit here and try and sometimes it's fruitless to try and explain moves, right? To rationalize moves. Just got to be able to take advantage of those opportunities when they present themselves. So that's what I'll continue to look to do. And then riddle me this today, right? Of all the things, the VIX is up 3%. It's at 15 right now. So anyway, I mentioned this morning, if you sat in front of the TV or even just read publications over the weekend and this morning, it's all about Venezuela. And you would think that the markets would be tanking, right? Or at least if from a glance, if you're not a trader, you'd be like, wow, this is bad, right? To me, I'm a free market person, right? I think that anytime there's opportunities, things that open up markets and create possibilities for conditions to improve and things to improve, that to me, that's an overall good thing, right? And same with the Iran situation a while back, a couple months ago, when we had that whole situation over the weekend. You have all these folks who thought that was it. World War III's coming. This is horrible. Oil's going to go to the moon. This is all bad. And then oil dropped and markets rallied. And the people who get, feed into that fear and feed into all the clickbait stuff get their butt handed to them because they just go and trade puts. And, you got to be open to both sides, right? And I've been able to play downside quite a few times this year as well, or last year. And I'll continue to do so. It's just a matter of being in a position to take advantage of that when it happens. So anyway, off my little my nutshell there, whatever you want to call it. But overall, take a look at the SPY. Nice start. The first 2 days of the year will be in the green, and then the Santa Claus rally will be in the red for the first time. So the first time for 3 consecutive years. Makes for good conversation going into the next Santa Claus rally. See you next year. All right, that's kind of overall market. 686 on the SPY. That was the big spot I was talking about. Above that right now, see some chop today and tomorrow will be nice. And then, maybe start talking 690s and above on the SPY. Upper Bollinger Band will be a SPY at 693 and change. So there's plenty of room if we have continuation of this rally tomorrow. After the close, in about 28 minutes, you have Jensen's doing the keynote in Vegas for CES. So I'm sure it's going to be sis boom ba, going to be very optimistic. It's a matter of, is it optimistic enough to alleviate some concerns? You see names are going nuts today in the AI space, especially on the CapEx side. You have Lam Research. I'm trying to think of some of these other names that are just going bonkers today. And 3D stocks are going, just the whole bad energy names. It's just like someone hit a button today and said, okay, we're going to rally almost everything today. So that's after the close. You also have the CEO of Intel will be at, I think it's 6 o'clock. So 9 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern time. So I don't know that'll move the markets too much. And then we get more data. So we had the manufacturing data today, 10 o'clock on Wednesday. We get services ISM. That's going to be a contraction, right? Anything under a 50 is contraction. I think it came in at 49 or so last read. Estimates are for 48 now. It's funny, the manufacturing number came in worse than expected this morning, and it was kind of like it was non-event. So probably going to be a similar situation when it comes Wednesday. Also, Wednesday, we get the ADP jobs report. So everybody's going to be all eyes on the December jobs report come Friday. To me, it's like, I hate to say I want to see a bad number, but you want to see like a crazy jobs report. Because then, to me, it's going to allow the Fed to not cut rates at the next meeting. And then I'm still on the fence. I'm still on the side of the fence where I think they can cut rates. All right, so that's overall market. Uh, so now just quick on individual names. First up, Serve Robotics continuation, 14% to the upside on Friday, up another 7% here today, almost up to $13 just a little while ago, pulled back. So, I don't want to be in this. I think it hits 13.75, right? But nothing's guaranteed, nothing's certain. I mean, if you trade long enough, you know that without a fact that there's so many times over the years where I know something's going to go to a spot, and typically it'll do it after option expiration. So it just doesn't make sense for me to hold my entire position on Serve to get to 13.75, and the January strikes expire next week, so I have to deal with the time element. So took some of the 13 strikes out for close to 100%, and then as it continued to move, took some more out for over 100%, and I'll just continue to hold those into tomorrow. I think it's 4 days in a row to the upside over his 50-day moving average, 11.16. It's had substantial move, but me, of course, I look through it the lens. I think it's a $25 plus stock. It's sitting here at 12.60. So to me, I think 13.75 can happen relatively quickly. But at the same token, you don't know. And you have those bears came out with that short piece last week and the week before. So there's people ready to pounce on this name if it continues to rally. So not going to sit there and regret not taking profits. So I took some of the strikes off today. I still have the March 15s. I had locked some of those in as well, and those were up close to 300% earlier today. I'll just continue to hold those for upside. Yeah, I can go on a rant forever on Serve Robotics. I mean, today it's up to $940 million market cap. It has $310 million in cash. So here's a growing company that's to the tune of 1,000% is going to grow this year, and 30-something% of its market cap or valuation is tied in cash. So just crazy little numbers you can throw out there. I think it's just such a great story. But I don't know what the spin is for CES, if Jensen's going to have anything in regards to robotics. If he does, bonus for Serve Robotics, right? All right, so that's Serve. Nice trade again. I don't know how many times over the years, over this since June, I've been able to trade profitably on the upside on Serve, and then it's had pulls. And a lot of time, I've had some positions on the pulls, but not a lot. I've already locked most in, and then I revisit for bounces. So hopefully the pull's not happening yet. It gets to at least 13.75 and can revisit it, either adding more strikes or waiting for the next move. So that's that. I don't know why I have turn up here. Oh, I was going to do my rant this morning on Turns Pharmaceuticals, right? Things that got away, New Year's resolutions. I don't want to have a Turns Pharmaceuticals to get away from me. Trading that $6, $7, $8. I used to have the phrase turn and burn. I knew their assets, right? They're not only is it the oral GLP-1, which is still like a phase one study. They also have other assets. So they had a decent pipeline, but it was like a $200 million market cap at the time, and they had 200-some million in cash. It was just like a great story. And, in hindsight, I probably should have went and got some higher strikes. So hopefully, New Year's resolution, don't let some of these names run away this year. When I have some conviction, at least, even if I just get some, FOMO calls, some what the heck. I don't want to curse today. Today's not a cursing day. All right. So that's turns. RH out of the gate was kind of slow to get going, and also on boom, 198, 199, 200, and then by 950 it's at 203. It's funny, if I wasn't into calls, they'd be up 400%, but because I'm into calls, they were up 150% or what have you, and that's because the pullback a little bit on Friday. I used to move close some of the calls out for 60%. I was holding the rest. The calls got over a double. I probably, in hindsight, maybe I should have locked some more in, but there's still plenty of time. Have till Friday. I think it trades north of 215, if not higher, in the coming days. Got up to 205 by the noon hour, pulled back, and now it's, for some reason, someone hit the sell button. So over the last 30 minutes, it's went from 203 down to 196. Still like this one for upside over that 200-day moving average of 193. So at least lock some profits in there. I'll continue to hold those. And then Baidu, and disappointing overnight. It was gapping a little lower, opened in a red all the way down to 145, and I said 144.50 to 145. If it held that, maybe I'd add some strikes. Started to find a bid into the afternoon, 11 o'clock, and then I'm like, this might go red to green and do some kind of boomerang action. I was looking to get some January 16 strikes for next week, but $5 increments. If I wish there was dollar increments, could have found a better decent risk reward strike. So I went and got the weeklies, the 160s. It goes all the way up to, I think it was 148. I forget when I got the strikes. Calls got up to 60, 70%. Maybe in hindsight, I should have locked some in to cover some costs. But then it pulled. And, I'm still holding strikes into next week, which I had already locked some in on Friday. I don't want to be in a spot where I I lose not only on the weekly strikes, but then those positions for next week continue to go south. So I locked the 160s in for a small gain. Of course, I don't even know what they're at right now. Did I pull them up here? So those I got those for 50. Just 77 by 85. So getting close to a double. I'll just wait till tomorrow. I might trade this tomorrow if it finds a bid, because I think this could be the start of Baidu starting to head towards $200. So like I said this morning, closed it. Highs not seen since 2023 on Friday. I think there'll be continuation. So that's Baidu. Nice little trade there today. And then Trip finally, Trip found a bid this morning and then broke over 15, all the way up to 15.23 by the noon hour. Used the move to close some of the calls out for close to 100 and then over 100% on the January strikes. Similar to Baidu and SERV, have the time element, so I don't want to be in a spot where get a pull and then the premiums evaporate. And Trip has done this, or last week it did the same thing, where my calls are up almost 100% and then I don't close them out and then it reverses. So sure enough, Trip reversed under 15 and doing the same thing that RH is doing. It's like someone hit a sell button. So 1520 at 230, and now it's down here at 1480. Similar to SERV, another one of these names. I stare at Trip, but I think it's a $25 plus stock, but the market's telling me not today. So one of these days it will be today. Hopefully I'll continue to be in the call, so I'll continue to look for opportunities on Trip. Still have the March strikes too. They're green, but I was hoping more premium would come into calls. Maybe if we get another rally. So that's Trip, that's SERV. Coco, 53.80 here. One of my top 5 stocks for this year. I think it still heads north, close up to $60 in the coming weeks. Wells Fargo came out with the price target. What'd they do? They raised their price target from 50 to 63. Okay. They have an overweight rating. So I don't know if they're adjusting it for the recent move. And then that brings me to Sweet Green. Seems like some of these casual dining stocks going bonkers this morning. Kava, which I had, it was, what was it, $49 when I had the calls, ran up to 53, made some nice coin on the calls. And then I didn't trade it since. And I probably should have in hindsight. I thought it was going over $60. Sure enough, Kava's 63 and change this morning. I don't even know what it's at right now. But then you have Sweet Green, and I got those 750s. They were looking great this morning, finally back in the green. I was actually looking to get some more strikes. And then thankfully I sat on my hands, and then it starts breaking down 720. I should have locked them in. And then, so I held on to the rest. I'll continue to hold them. Probably with Sweet Green, I still like the story here. You have the insider buy. You have a name that's been completely obliterated to the point where it's like people are pricing it for disappearing. Like names in the past that are similar, like Noodles and Company, Potbelly, I think it's PPPP. These casual dining names that have come out over the years that came out, and then they just went the way of the, I would say the way of the dinosaur. Noodles, right? Noodles and Company. There's a lot of these names. I don't think Kava fits in that niche. Not only that, they just sold off their kitchen technology for $100 million to Wonder. So anyway, not going to talk too much about SG, but I almost closed my calls out flat earlier today. I'll continue to look for opportunities there. Watching Reddit today at the open, I was almost kicking myself for a little bit. Not ending strikes goes up to 250, and the open was the high of the day, 250.23, and then within a matter of an hour, it's 240. So that's kind of been the playbook, I guess, on Reddit. Maybe towards the end of the week, or maybe even tomorrow, I'll revisit if I see some opportunities. And that's it. Out of breath. VIX is back under 15, so maybe we get a chop day tomorrow. Hopefully, some more opportunities. I like. I call it harvest days, right? When I'm in positions, I'm able to start harvesting some calls, because when you're in a lot of positions, sometimes it becomes harder. Obviously, it becomes harder to manage. But then number two, especially when they're all biased to one direction, all it takes is one headline, one catalyst, and you get smushed. And then those are the kind of worst days. So thankfully, able to harvest some positions today. Hopefully, that continues tomorrow. Solar Edge, another name, all the way up to $33 at the open. That went red to green. So green to red, and it's sitting here at 31.27. Still have the January strikes. Another name I'll revisit at some point for upside. And that's it, folks. Have a great day. I'll be back. Rock and roll.